Welcome to another video of Food Nourish Deep Dives, the videocast of foodnourish.net, where we explore topics like health, food, supplements, and alternative approaches to health and wellness. You know, sleep is one of those things we all do, but how much do we really think about where our sleep habits come from? In this explainer, we're going to dive into our lifelong relationship with sleep. Seriously, from our very first nights as infants, all the way to how we're trying to manage it as adults. So let's just jump right in with a huge question, one that I think we've all probably wondered about at some point. Are we just born good sleepers, or is it something we have to learn? Well, the answer is, it's complicated. It's this incredible story that unfolds over our entire lives, and it starts literally from day one.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. For any new parents out there, you know this. An infant's sleep can be a massive source of anxiety, right? And it's almost always centered around that one big milestone. But what if I told you that all that focus might be, well, a little misplaced? Some really fascinating research suggests we might be looking at the wrong thing entirely.
To really wrap our heads around this, we got to get clear on two different ways to measure a baby's sleep. First up, you have consecutive sleep. Now, this is the one everybody obsesses over, right? It's the whole sleeping through the night thing. But then there's total sleep. And that's exactly what it sounds like. The total amount of sleep a baby gets, naps included, over a whole 24-hour day.
And this is where the big surprise comes in. A huge study that followed kids over time found that the best predictor of good sleep later on wasn't whether they slept through the night, not at all. It was their total sleep. Think about that. Shorter total sleep when they were just 6 months old was directly linked to having more sleep problems years down the road as preschoolers. That's a game changer.
So you're probably wondering, how much sleep are we actually talking about here? Well, in this study, the average 6-month-old was getting about 13.25 hours of total sleep in a day. And that number is so important because it gives us a real benchmark. It shows just how much sleep these little ones need to build that solid foundation for the future.
So, the takeaway from this first chapter of our sleep story is crystal clear. If you're thinking about long-term sleep health for an infant, the goal should be to focus on the total amount of sleep. All that pressure to get them sleeping through the night early on, it might actually be a distraction from what really, truly matters.
All right, let's hit the fast-forward button and jump to the teenage years. The teen years. This is where sleep becomes this fascinating tug-of-war, you know? You've got their biology going haywire, their desperate need for independence, and, believe it or not, the sleep habits of their entire family.
And this isn't just a vague idea. The data backs it up. This table is wild. It's from a study that used those wearable sleep trackers, so it's objective data. And just look at the connections. A teen's sleep is significantly linked to their mom's sleep, especially when they wake up and how much they sleep overall. And check out the siblings. Their sleep patterns are tied together too. It just proves it, doesn't it? Sleep is absolutely a family affair. And it's not just about, passively picking up habits. Parents are actively trying to teach this stuff. This quote from a mom in the study is just perfect. She says she was watching a medical show and they started talking about teen sleep. So she turned to her kids and was like, "Listen to this. This is how important sleep is, especially for you guys. It helps you grow." It's like she saw a perfect teachable moment and seized it.
And you know what? That kind of active parenting really pays off. The study found a super clear, measurable benefit to having some rules. We're talking about things like set bedtimes or limits on screens. Teens with those rules got an average of 28 extra minutes of sleep every single night. Now that might not sound like a ton, but do the math. That's more than 3 hours of extra sleep a week. That's huge.
So we're about to move into adulthood, where we're the ones in the driver's seat of our own health. And that feels like a pretty good time for a quick break to talk about a resource that might help. You know, if your wellness journey involves supplements or other health products, you want to make sure you're getting great stuff from trusted brands. So we've put together a deals page over at foodnourish.net/deals. You can find all kinds of offers from major brands like Perpetual Life, iHerb, Source Naturals, Nootropics Depot, and Bioptimizers. You can get that link right in the description below.
Okay, we're back. Let's talk about adulthood. We're the boss of our own sleep now. And when things go wrong, when we're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., where do a lot of us go? Yep, the internet. And as I'm sure you can guess, that can be the absolute Wild West when it comes to advice.
Someone actually did a fascinating analysis of a super popular online forum. They just looked at what kind of advice people were giving each other for insomnia. And the results, whoa, they are striking. Just look at this. The single most common type of advice, almost half of it was about drugs. We're talking prescription meds, supplements, even illegal stuff. It's wild. And, some of this advice can sound really convincing, which is what makes it so tricky. Take this comment about melatonin. The person is using sciencey-sounding words like endogenous hormone, and what they're saying seems to make sense. But we have to step back and remember, this is medical advice from a total stranger on the internet.
And it can get scary fast. This next user is literally recommending a cocktail of different medications, confidently telling someone else that, hey, it's not something you die from. They're even explaining why it's okay to combine them. This right here, this is the perfect example of why getting medical advice from a forum can be so dangerous.
So, we've gone on quite a journey here, haven't we? From the cradle all the way to cyberspace. So what does it all mean? What does this story tell us about how to build a lifetime of healthy sleep? Let's break it all down into the key takeaways.
This really lays it all out, our evolving strategy for sleep. For infants, step 1 is all about focusing on that 24-hour total sleep, not just the overnight stretch. Then, in adolescence, it becomes a team sport. It's about modeling good habits and having those consistent rules. And finally, as adults, the game changes again. It becomes about critical thinking, being super skeptical of online advice, and knowing when it's time to talk to a real professional.
Our relationship with sleep is never really finished. It's a story that's written over decades. It's shaped by our very first days, by the family we grow up in, and by the choices we make every single day. So I guess the final question I want to leave you with is this. What's shaping your sleep story right now? Goodbye, listeners, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to dive deeper into any of this, we've put the links to the research articles right in the description for you. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please do us a favor and like the video. It really helps us grow our channel and continue delivering these deep dives. And of course, subscribe so you never miss another episode.